It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. It's time to talk netball, and the one person we go on the Near Peninsula to talk about netball, it's Joe Franklin. Joe, how's your week been? You had a good week?
Yeah, we haven't had a good week, although lots and lots of water. So much water laying around. But,
Yep.
it can be good, it can be bad, just depends on what stage your crops are at, I guess. But, other than that, we've had a pretty good week over this way.
That's good to hear. All right, we've got to get into it. We've got a lot to get through. And with great Flinders, it was the second semi-final last week, and, well, it went the way you predicted, and Tumby Bay narrowly over Cummins.
Yeah, it did. Look, there were some really close games, Clayton. We'll just quickly brush over some of the others. So with the little ones, the E grade, Tumby Bay 36 defeated Lock 30. 6 goals isn't a lot in a junior netball game. But in the D grade, United Chalana 40 defeated Ramblers 39. 1 goal there, so a really close game between those two. In the B reserves, United Chalana 50 defeated Ellison Districts 29, which was the only blowout for the whole day, really. And in the B grade, Lock 39 defeated Ellison Districts 37. In the A reserves, Kapini 46 defeated Elliston 44, which led into a very interesting A-grade game. And Tumby Bay, as you said, were able to actually come away 45-41, but Cougars were up 14-9 at quarter time.
Ooh.
They were. So Tumby, Stacey obviously thought she might throw a few positions around, and she brought Trez Laurie into wing defence at quarter time and then put Renee Birkin back into goalkeeper. Cougars sort of still started pretty strong. It took Tumby just a little while to settle down into that, but eventually they did. And Taryn Binky and Renee Birkin, they really started working overtime, and they were getting their hands to the balls. And Ilka Stone, as she just does, she stands up tall when she has to. She rewarded them with some really nice goal shooting at the other end. And in the end, at half-time, they were able to pull back the 7 goals, Tumby, to be 22 all. In the third quarter, evidently the second half, it just absolutely amped up.
Yeah.
And everybody was going for it. There was no question about that. But there's some young players in both the teams, and they all stood up. They all took that extra step and really started working extremely hard. Young Sarah Laurie, Taryn Binky, Maisie Curtis, all very young ones in the Tumby Bay side. And then Cougars have got Holly Gale and Molly Burns and Hannah Green. So all of those girls actually really showed that they deserve to be up in the A-grade comp and put their foot down. And Tumby were able to hit the lead by 1 goal at three-quarter time. Jet Green for Cougars, she just continued to work hard all day through the centre. But so did Carly Dunn from Tumby Bay. And in the end, I think her experience with the young ones around her, probably being able to get that ball into Ilka, who just knows how to play and how to shoot under pressure, got Tumby over the line. And best players for Cougars was Ruby Green, and for Tumby Bay was one of their young ones, Maisie Curtis.
Well done, Maisie. Good on her. And those young ones, I mean, they're probably thinking, well, I've got a chance to play in the grand final here too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. There's no question about that. And it was a great game to watch, evidently. And everybody sort of said, yep, they'll be looking forward to seeing what happens this week and then what comes up in the grand final. So, yes, it brings on some very interesting games at Karku for the Great Flinders. It will be their prelim final, and it is at Karku. In their E grade at 10:15, Lock will be taking on Ramblers. In the D grade, Ramblers at 12 o'clock, Ramblers will be taking on Ellison Districts. In the B reserves, which is at 1:30, Ellison Districts will be playing Tumby Bay. At 1:30, also the A reserves will be playing, where Ellison Districts will be taking on Lock. Then at 3 o'clock will be their B grade, Ellison Districts taking on Tumby Bay. And also at 3 o'clock, this will be a cracker.
Yes.
Cummins, Kapini are taking on Elliston District. So both sides will be at full strength, well, as full strength as they can be, because we know that Cougars did lose a couple of players throughout the season, but that was a fair while ago now, and they have actually been able to settle down a bit of a side since then. And Elliston District had a lot of trouble early with COVID and illnesses and all those things too, but they've been able to settle themselves down. So I think that there's a couple of very interesting matchups here. I think that Hannah and Ruby Green in goals for Cougars against Kelsey Hull and Nikki Schubert. Kelsey and Nikki are very experienced. They are a well-oiled defence unit. Hannah and Ruby, sisters, know how each other work. a little bit younger, and I'll just be interested to see how they stand up against the strengths of Kelsey and McGee. And I think that may well be where Elliston Districts, if they're going to beat Cougars, that is where it will happen. If they can then get the ball down into their goalies in Zali Ramsey and Courtney Hull, and they can have a better shooting day than what they have had during the season, but they've certainly worked on that and got more accurate as the season's gone on, because they're standing a couple of young ones as well in Holly Gale and Molly Burns. Mind you, that also depends on what Cougars decide to do in that end, because they might have another bit of a wild card up their sleeve there. I'm not sure. I just think there's some great matches. And through the centre, Jet Green, Leah Forrest has been playing really well up there as well for Elliston Districts. I think that this is going to be a cracker of a game and well worth people getting along to have a look at.
And you're leaning towards Elliston, I hear. I can just read between the lines there. I got the subtlety of it all.
Look, I think that I would maybe a goal, but you just never count Cougars out in finals. They just know how to win them. But so having said that, so to Elliston, they've won their fair share as well when they were in the Midwest League as well. So I just think maybe a little bit of experience on the Elliston side might get them over the line. But I thought that the last time they played in Cougars absolutely smashed them. So, who knows?
Well, I'm going to lean towards Elliston. So that's where I'm going.
And we will see what happens with that. And, they will have to take on Tumby Bay the following week in the grand final.
Yeah, worry about that next week.
Exactly. Get through this one.
All right, it'll be a huge day at Carcoo tomorrow with the prelim final. All right, we better get on to Eastern Air and some exciting results from the prelims last week.
Oh, yeah, look, there was. In the E2s, Kimber 21 defeated Eastern Rangers 5. In the E grade, Eastern Rangers 30 defeated Ports 19. In the D grade, Eastern Rangers 83 defeated Central Air United 16. So a really big blowout there. So that was interesting for a D grade side to shoot 83 goals. That's massive in a final. In the C2s, Cow 35 defeated Eastern Rangers 33. Only a couple of goals there. In the C grade, Cow 42 defeated Central Air United 40. They were glad to get that one back.
Yep.
But again, only 2 goals. In the B grade, Eastern Rangers 41 defeated Central Air United 36. So some really interesting games there, which then brought us to the A grade where Central Air United, and we did say that the storm was brewing.
Storm was brewing.
Yeah, and it brewed on Saturday. They won 50 to Kimber 41. And the two, Abby and Keely Bruce, they stood really tall and strong, and they're such determined defenders anyway. But they did it really consistently over 4 quarters on Saturday. Look, the first quarter was really quick and high intensity. The goalers of both teams were shooting really accurately, and Kimber actually led by a goal at quarter time. Lucy Klingberg, young player for Kimber, she had shot at 100% up until then, and then all of a sudden the Storm defence really started to get on top. Their goalers started rewarding the turnovers, and at halftime they turned it around to be leading 28-21. Kimber, in a final, if they're down, you might as well throw things around and just throw everything to the wind and have a go, because there's no tomorrow, and that's certainly what Whip did. She had a few changes at half time, but it actually, unfortunately, took them quite a while to settle down, and while they were settling down into those changes, Storm just took full advantage of it and they pushed out. And at the end of that quarter, they were up 39-29. And Kimber came out strong again in the last quarter, as they would do, because they would never, ever know how to lie down. There's no question about that, and we would be making sure that didn't happen. But Storm just, remained determined and steady for the whole quarter, and put in 4 consistent quarters, which was really important for them. And in the end, they were just too good, and they get to play in their first grand final. So
excellent.
They're really looking forward to doing that this week. And look, evidently the crowd was really big and was really loud, and that's what you like to have around
what you want,
on a final. Absolutely. So, and then straight after that, the Eastern Air held their junior trophy count, and congratulations to their winners. The D grade Sharon Crittenden medal, best and fairest, went to Ava Jenner from Eastern Rangers, and the runner-up in the D grade was Rebecca Sanders Sampson from Central Air United. In the E grade, best and fairest was a draw actually between Ruby Schubert from Ports and Jara Mosby Reid from Kimber, and the runner-up was young Mary Turner from Eastern Rangers, must be taking after her mum. And in the E2, best and fairest was Majesta Tomney Crossman from Eastern Rangers, and the runner-up was Archie Foster from Central Air United. So some very worthy winners there, and a lot of talent coming through in those junior grades in Eastern Air.
All right, that leads us to the grand final at Cal. It's going to be a huge day, and it all starts with the E grade at 9:30.
Yeah, it does. Mind you, it starts way earlier than that when you're preparing for a grand final, believe you me. But and I think they've got all sorts of things planned at Cal, and so good luck to them for the day. And I hope the weather's not too bad for them. It sort of looks like it could be a little bit wet, but then in Cal probably not. But yeah, it does start at 9:30 with the E grade, and Kimber will take on Eastern Rangers there. Then the D grade at 10:45, Kimber will again take on Eastern Rangers in that one. E2 is at 11 a.m. Central Air United will take on Kimber. C2 is at 12:15 with Central Air United taking on Cal. The B grade is at 12:30 where Kimber will be playing Eastern Rangers. In the C grade at 1:45, Eastern Rangers will be playing Cal, and that will be a do or die. And in the A grade at 3 o'clock, Eastern Rangers will be taking on Central Air United. Because the storm has brewed and it could well still be brewing. Eastern Rangers will not be taking this very lightly, I can tell you, because even though the last time they played Central Air United, they had a really good win. They were missing a couple of players, but they are at full strength. Zika informed me that they will be having their full side, and that will look like Emily Miller and Rani Tomney in goals, Alice Lill and Regan O'Brien and Kylie Scholes through the centre court, and the two Blues girls, Abby and Keely, in defence, which is really interesting because we have a set of sisters, because in goals for Eastern Rangers we have Nicole and Lauren Symes. So we're only laughing about it at the association count day about the two sets of sisters standing each other, and that is exactly what's happened in the grand final. So that will be a very interesting match-up because there's a lot of height there, a lot of strength and a lot of skill. So that could be exactly where the game is won or lost. And at the other end with Eastern Rangers, they've got Erin Roberts, Jordan Hooper and Shani Roberts who have really come together as a defensive unit and are playing as a defensive unit. And they've got Lily Nettle and Kate Simlick through the centre and wing attack. So both sides, really well balanced. They've got a nice little bit of youth and some nice experience, a lot of height on both sides. So this is going to be an absolute cracker of a game. And
come on, say it.
Oh,
come on.
I think Eastern Rangers.
Yes, that's where you were leaning. I knew you were leaning that way. Yeah.
I think in the end that they might just have the experience. They've played together a fair bit now, and they have played in a lot of grand finals now. And whilst it could be the changing of the guard and the storm might just still be erupting, I just would probably pick Eastern Rangers.
I kind of agree with you, but I've been supporting the Storm the last few weeks. They've got to the grand final. Can't renege on them now. Got to stick by them. So it could be a very stormy day, although having looked at the weather forecast, it's going to be a mostly sunny day, temps in the mid-teens. So it won't get past 20, so it's not really stormy weather, but... Yeah, I'm sticking with the Storm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, look, hopefully it is a good day weather-wise because that's what you want on a grand final. You want to have the best possible conditions and have the best possible matches that you can get. And I think, neutral umpires for finals as well is always really interesting. Whichever side settles into their style of umpiring, the quickest is always a big help as well. And Erica Larwood actually is going up from Tumby to umpire that A-grade final along with a lady, I think, who's coming from Adelaide or
Michelle Skipper.
There somewhere. Yeah, that's it.
Michelle Skipper. Yeah, should be helping out.
Yeah, so all in all, should be a great day at Cal, and people need to get along and support their teams, and we will see what comes out of it.
We certainly will. Good luck to all the volunteers and all that are helping behind the scenes to make the day possible too. Everyone drive safely there. Just enjoy the day. Be kind to the umpires and to yourself if you're winning or losing. So, but Joe, thank you very much. We'll chat next week because we've got other things to talk about, another grand final, and I look forward to that. You have a wonderful week and enjoy the big day tomorrow.
No worries. Thanks, Clayton. You too.